welcome to episode 10. If you've got this far, then well done. You've managed to create a really good composition from nothing, really. So I hope you've learned some skills, but we're not finished yet. As we can see, this picture looks finished, but there's a few more sort of tweaks we can do to make it better. Now's a good time just to look at the picture and see where we can improve things. So there's a few things that I'm not quite happy with. I'm not happy with the horse. I'm not happy with the castle. I think the colour up here is slightly off and the bridge is a bit too light. So I'm just going to play around now and correct those things. So I'm going to start with the castle. So I'll just open the castle folder. Notice that how easy it is now. It's all managed. You can go straight to it. So there's the castle. There's the 3 adjustment layers that we've used on top to get the effect that we've managed to get. But I want to create more, make it more dark on this side. So I'm just going to open up the levels adjustment layer and just make it more darker. I don't want to lose too much detail. But that's slightly better now. And I think the colour's fine. I think I'm going to stick with the colour. It's kind of got this orange tint, which is the same as the rocks around. So we'll keep that. I might brighten the sky up a little bit on the actual image. So on the mountains adjustment layer, I can click in there. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just look at that for a start. And I'm going to select, using the wand tool, just the black at the top. So that's selected the black, because that's the bit I want to affect. So I'm just going to brighten up that a little bit. Do a brightness contrast. That's better. So that's before and after. Just gives it a little bit more brightness. What I might do as well is create a vibrance adjustment layer and just bring up the vibrance a little bit, bring some blues into it. That's before and then after. So now what I want to do is make that white, that snow on there more whiter. So I'm going to do that using a curves adjustment, and then I'm going to tell Photoshop what should be white. Oh, I've got the wrong thing selected. That. The curve should be above. There we go. Right, obviously that's done it too much. What I'm going to do is just lower the opacity a little bit. Remember what we spoke about in a previous episode about how when we're masking out we use black and white paint to reveal or hide. Black hides, white reveals. If we remember that, we can master masks quite easily. So at this point I'm just using black just to paint out where I don't want that effect to be as prominent. I want it bright on that first mountain. So I'm just painting out using black on the mask. So that curves adjustment is just on that section there. Just makes it a little bit more whiter. That's before and that's after. So with that said, what we're going to do now, we're just going to go back to the castle layer. Just brighten this up a little bit. So I've got shadows, so I probably want mid-tones. I'm going to lower that a little bit to about 70. Yeah, that's quite good. Just highlight this ground a little bit, just brighten it up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. So now on the outpost itself, just going to brighten that edge just a little bit. Yeah, that looks a lot better. I noticed here there's a little bit of red, so I'm just going to get rid of that. I think that's in trees and there. I've left the red on the ground here as though leaves have fallen onto the ground, so that's why I've left that red under there, if anybody's wondering. So we said about the horse, so I'm going to see if I can just improve that a little bit. So I've got there's the colour. It's not the colour, it's the, maybe that's better, just a little bit darker. Yeah, that's not too bad. It looks like it's still floating as well, so I'm just going to put a little bit of a shadow underneath him. Got to be careful doing this because sometimes it can look slightly odd. That's better. Just sort of anchors him a bit to the picture. What next? Yeah, we said that bridge. Well, that bridge might be a bit bright. So I'm just gonna. Right there on top of that layer. That's okay. So the bridge. Where's the bridge? Bridge. So I'm just gonna darken it again. It's not too bad. Probably just put that bit in. So got mid-tones 100%. Probably just lower that a tad. There we go. That's better. Yeah. I'm just going to darken that as well. Outpost building. Just darken this. That's the outpost building. I want outpost tower. There we go. Yeah, I think this is a bit darker. That's better. Yeah, that's a lot better now. I'm happy with those little just tweaks that just make it just a little bit more realistic. So now we've done that, I'm going to transfer it now into Color Effects, which is used to be part of the Nik Collection. Then it went to Google, but now DxO have got it, and I'm actually trialing it at the minute. So I'm using the demo version because the original Nik Collection that I had stopped working with Photoshop. It kept crashing. So I'm going to have to do the upgrade now to the DxO version. So I'm just trialing it. It seems everything pretty much is the same, but they've just added some more presets, which is always good. If you do make the leap, just make sure you back up your own presets from the Nik Collection, otherwise it'll overwrite them and you'll lose them. So I had to back everything up and then re-import everything. So one that I particularly like is outdoor wreckage. Yeah, quite like that. That's a preset that I've got that I usually call the preset after what I've edited. So I would have edited some outdoor wreckage and edited it for that. It might have been in a train yard or just some scrap iron somewhere, just, you know, rusting through time. So I'll have edited that and then thought, oh, that's pretty good. So I would have called it outdoor wreckage, but I think that's worked, pulled everything together in this image really nicely. And that horse looks a lot better now. Just needs to be darker, and these have got some real tones. That's fantastic, actually. I quite like that. So we'll press OK. Obviously, if you've got more time, you can go in and tweak all these and make it even better. But just for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just running it through what stages we can go through to create your finished picture. So what the Nik Collection does is it saves it as a file on top of everything. So you have still got, it hasn't flattened the image. You've still got everything there in case you wanted to go in and edit, but you would need to go in and then reapply that that sort of effect to it, that your preset through another software. But that's everything saved and ready to go. So we can save that. We can actually save it as a PSD file with everything there, or we can squash it down into one layer. Bearing in mind that if you do save it with all the layers, it will be a huge file, so you won't be able to export it to the likes of Facebook or anything else. You know, you'd need to flatten it down into a JPEG to be able to do that. So right, we've got the finished picture. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to be putting more speed arts and more tutorials such as this online. Again, if you want the files to follow on with this, they're going to be on my Behance page, all ready to be downloaded. I'm also going to put them on my DeviantArt page, but all the links will be in the description. Alright, well, thank you for joining me. I hope you've learned something, and remember, just don't be afraid to experiment, try new things. That's the only way you're going to learn. And just try with something simple. Just put one thing into a picture, maybe a tree or just a building, and make it look as real as you can. Keep looking back and looking at it and thinking what's not quite right with it. Is the light wrong or is the perspective wrong? And just keep tweaking it until it looks fine. And get somebody else to look at the picture and let them guess what you've put in it. And if they can't, you know you're on to a winner. So anyway, I hope to see you in the next tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you.